This podcast is being recorded and produced on Gadigal land.
We pay our respects to the traditional custodians of this country and elders past, present.
We extend our respect to any First Nations, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people joining us today.
Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
Well. Oh, Brittney's having a charcuterie board over there. Sorry, everyone. You'll have to excuse her.
I'm not having a charcuterie. I'm having grain wave.
Yum. I love Grain Wave. Shout out to Grain Wave. Sponsor the pod, please. Because I reckon they're probably up there as, they'd be in my top 3 chips of all time.
Hear me out. Grain waves on a charcuterie board.
Yeah.
Like cheese,
Yeah.
quince paste, prosciutto.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, thanks everyone for backing me up with that one.
Yeah.
And a grain wave for the crunch and the flavour.
Grain Wave with a piece of cheese, a bit of Mersey Valley cheese with the honey on it, and some prosciutto would go down an absolute treat right now.
Yep.
Especially because this feels like a bit of a wine time. Today's a very special Close Friends episode because we're going to talk all about my Kylie Minogue adventure and then our Kylie Minogue adventure. The fact that you randomly went to a second show for free and how that happened. You got a VIP ticket or something. I don't know. We'll get there soon. But let's talk about, because there's been a lot of questions which I haven't been answering online just while the tour has been going, because I've had to pump out so much content. I mean, every single day, let me take you through each and every day of... Are you happy for me to just talk for 5 minutes?
I want to eat these
grain
grain
waves. Yeah, eat your grain waves.
Can you mute my microphone, Hannah?
I'll go ahead, yeah. No, I'm happy to take one for the team here. Right, so obviously you all know, I'm sure there's no one who doesn't know, that I have just completed 10 shows. I mean, today is Monday. We're recording. Obviously, we record every Monday. And I have one more show tonight, Monday night. But so as of right now, I've done 9 shows, but I've got one more tonight. But by the time you're listening to this, the 10 shows are done. 10 shows of the Tension Tour for Kylie Minogue. She's my favourite artist. You know the story. I've taken you on the journey here on the podcast and across my socials. Every single day has been such a journey. I wake up, I shave my face and whatever other parts of my body need to be shaved. I do my makeup. While I do my makeup, I do a TikTok live. So I go live for 2 hours while I'm doing my makeup, because obviously when you're live, it takes a lot longer. I could probably smash my makeup out in about 45 minutes if I wasn't talking, reading comments, answering questions, blah, blah, blah. Then once that's done, I have to do the video where it's get ready with me and put the outfit together, and I kind of explain the outfit. Then I do the photo shoot. Then I do the reel/TikTok fit check sort of thing. Then I have to edit the photos. I don't usually edit my photos or Facetune or any of that. I've been a Facetune free account for many years now, since I want to say the pandemic, 2020 vibes. But I thought, we're doing digicam photos. They're not just iPhone photos. We're doing a full kind of little photo shoot in the hotel or wherever I can do it. So I was like, I might want to just, remove that pimple and smooth out that bit of my skin and things. I just thought it would just elevate the look a little bit, change the filters. I never put any filters on my photos. The most I'll do is change the brightness if it just needs to be up or down a little bit. But, I was putting a few filters on, blah, blah, blah. So we're doing all, and I disclosed that in all the posts as well and said, disclaimer, these photos have been edited in some way to enhance the look. But God, that's a lot of time and effort, and I'm so glad I am not that person anymore because I can't be bothered. Anyway, edit all those and then edit the fit check and then post all of that. I got to write the caption, find the reference photos and videos as well, do the post, all the rest of that, share that to the story. Then during that time, by the way, I actually get undressed. I got undressed the whole time. So I got dressed, did it all, and then got out of my outfit, sat in bed in a dressing gown, did all the edited all the content, got back into my outfit, went to the concert, got home. Then I had to edit the put the look together with me video because they're a bit longer, so they take a bit longer. Then the next morning I'd have to wake up, post the fit check on the Instagram, then post the get ready with me on both the platforms. I'm not even kidding. This has been more work than I've ever done in my entire life. And have I enjoyed myself? Absolutely. It's been life-changing and I've loved every second, and I love Kylie Minogue. It's been worth it. Would I ever do this again? Fuck no. I am a shell of a human being. I am not coping, and I need to have I need a health retreat, I feel. I don't know how Miss Kylie Minogue and all those dancers and all the band and everyone who puts this show on does it.
By the way, the dancers are amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Some of the best dancers from any concert tour I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
They give 110% the entire time. It's kind of wild. I'll never do this again. A lot of people are like, what's next? We need more of this. First of all, it's a very costly venture.
Have you calculated how much you've actually spent?
No, and I don't want to.
You should.
I don't want to.
All the tickets, all the flights, all the accommodation, all the costumes, all the accessories, your boots. I'm sure the boots aren't fucking cheap.
Yes. And you know what? The
food, the drinks,
don't
the valet.
Brittney. Don't, Brittney.
If you've you would have you wouldn't have driven anywhere. You've been flying.
Ubers.
Ubers. I need to know.
Yeah, I don't want to know because I think it'll make me sick. Because I definitely blew my budget, and it definitely has hurt.
Like if you
the
could
bank
guess
account.
like a round dollar figure,
I'd say 15,000 if I had to guess. But I will be honest, I haven't. It could be closer to 10. But I haven't.
How much were the most expensive tickets? Like how much?
800.
Was that how much ours were?
Ours were 800, yeah. For front row.
No.
Yeah.
We bought them so long
And
ago.
I had 4 of those. And then I had a couple 500s and I had a couple 300s.
So
and I had
surely
a
it's
couple
well over
200s.
10 grand. Like how much was a flight to Perth?
I did everything as cheap as I could. I used points. I did everything I could to cut corners and make things as cheap as possible. I'm all the hotels I stayed in, I'm like a core members and things like that at the Pullman, so I'm using points, and I've stayed 10 times because the best part is, I will say, the best part about my job and what I do and is that when I am booked on flights and things, I don't know if people realize this, but it doesn't matter who pays for the flights, I get the points. So when I fly, like my preferred airline is Virgin, and I have my Velocity points, which I use my flybys for, and they like transfer to Velocity points as well. So Velocity points is like what I'm trying to do.
I need to get it.
And basically, if I work with a brand and they book me to fly to Melbourne for a photo shoot, which has happened a couple times, they're paying for the flight. But because it's my Velocity number, I get the points.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
I have a lot of points from instances like that where other people have actually paid for me, but I get the points. So that's a really good benefit, I guess, to what I do. And so, yeah, I used a lot of points. I used a lot of things to make this possible. I was scouring the internet for every discount code possible. Usually I don't really bother with the discount code, but I was like creating a new email with Fashion Nova just so I got a 30% off first order sort of, you know what I mean? Like I was doing all those things to make this possible. So I have no idea how much money I spent. But you know what? I did this for me. It healed so much of my self and my inner child. I had the best time. I'm exhausted, but I had the best time. It was so worth it. I'll never do anything like this again. But yeah, it was worth every second. Let's talk about the fact that Kylie Minogue actually herself saw the content, commented on my reel, saying something along the lines of, I'm constantly checking your page for updates, which sent me into a spin. By this point, I'm not sure whether I will have uploaded the video. We captured the moment on camera. I was with my friend Nick. It was after the Brisbane show that I saw it. I actually saw it 5 hours after she commented. She commented before the Brisbane concert, about 2 hours before the concert. I was obviously too busy doing all my content, got ready, went to the concert, came home, had a shower, was ready to go to the club with my friend Nick. And then saw the comment from 5 hours ago and had a full-on meltdown. Now,
can I just say, like, you are the fucking funniest person.
Why?
Like, it's hilarious.
I'm always going to be a fangirl at heart, you know this.
I know. But
So-
you're just a crack up to me.
So thank God I was 1, with him, and 2, he was smart enough to film because he filmed the reaction, which I have got prepared, ready to go up. And by the time this Close Friends episode comes out, it will probably be up. But I didn't want to post it before the concert ended in the hopes that I would like get a meet and greet. And I would meet her, see, here's the thing. Well, I started this series for me, and I was like, I don't really care if anyone is even going to enjoy this. It's really niche and it's really different to what I do. Even just wearing makeup and wearing all the costumes.
Yeah.
I don't do much of that anymore on
What
the
are you
internet.
going to do for content now?
I don't know. But I did it because I was like, I'm doing this for me. This is something that I enjoy and there's not going to be much time to make much other content. So I may as well just make it. And if people like it, they like it. And if not, holy shit, I did not expect to become somewhat of a phenomenon of this tour. The amount of people that came up and said, hello, was that not fucking crazy? And has that not kind of happened since like your 2017 vibes?
Yeah.
The way we had crowds of people coming up and asking for photos and saying they've watched the journey online and blah, blah, blah. That was blowing my mind because I think since the pandemic, I want to say that sort of behavior doesn't really happen these days. People obviously come up and say, hello, like love your stuff, like listen to the podcast, blah, blah, blah. But the screaming and the photos and the freaking out and the meltdowns, I mean, I love it. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying it's like, it's a bad thing. I'm just saying I haven't experienced that kind of level of oh my God in like a really long time. And that was kind of it was exciting. It was full on. It was confronting. I loved it. We had news articles written about the fact that was all happening. I got called a celebrity. I was put in a it was so funny in an article that was like all the celebrities at Mardi Gras, and it was like Kylie Minogue, then me, second in the article. Then it was like Troye Sivan out, Anthony Albanese, Delta Goodrum. And I was like, why am I number 2? Like, what's going on? And the videos on TikTok of people, we spoke about it last week on the podcast, people filming me from their seats, everyone being like, I'm looking for all right hey tonight. I don't know. It was just kind of like more than I could have ever expected from this. I genuinely was like, I might lose followers because this is so random and not what I do. And the fact that everyone was so on board was just so incredible. Now, of course, the whole time everyone was like, oh my God, you know, you should meet Kylie because blah, 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 blah. To me, let's talk about this. And this is like kind of what I was saying. I've kept this like aspect off the internet. To me, Kylie Minogue is a very traditional celebrity. She's very untouchable. She's very unreachable. Like I never in a million years would think that I would actually be able to meet her because she's just a more traditional celeb. These days, the new up-and-coming celebs, I feel like they're much more, they interact with their fans a lot more. They will do the random meet and greets. They will do random pop-up fun things and like,
But she's just been around for so long.
She's been around for so long. She's kind of solidified herself as an icon anyway. She doesn't really need to do any of that. And also, she's from a time where it was like celebrities didn't interact with people. So when people are like, oh, you know, surely Kylie needs to bring you on stage or meet you. I'm like, no, that's like wrong person.
Yeah.
One of the newer artists, like a Sabrina Carpenter or an Addison Rae or a Tate McRae, like I can see that happening with them.
Yeah, they're more, the younger generation.
Yeah. And also I think they understand the power of social media a little bit, maybe better. Although Kylie, I feel, has a great team who would understand it. But I don't know about whether Kylie does or not. I have no idea. And that's the thing. I have no idea about her. So that was like out of my world. I was like, that's not happening. Like, and also, as I said, I think I said on this podcast, I'd actually hate a stage moment. I'd hate to be pulled on stage at any concert ever. I'm like, there's so many people watching. I don't know about that. But when she commented, that was like the first time that I was like, oh shit, like she's reachable. Because before then I was like, she's so unreachable. She's never going to acknowledge me, blah, blah, blah.
Matt,
and then she commented and I went,
God love you, honestly.
And I went,
Look at the way that you're talking about Kylie Minogue. Okay, can I say something?
Okay, but yes, you can.
Oh,
But I know what you're going to say.
No, you don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what it is, but there's no Australian artist that I mean, I think I feel this way about all celebrities, but even more so Australian celebrities. To me, Kylie is like Kylie that would be at the RSL.
Really?
Like, but I see that all Australian artists. Like, if I saw Troye Sivan, I'm like, yeah, it's Troy. Like,
right.
But I think I see like maybe American celebrities and singers, like they're a bit more famous. But I know Kylie's like this, obviously super famous. But to me, like, I don't know, I think it's just because they're Aussie, like they're from here. I'm just like, yeah, it's just fucking Kylie.
Yeah,
She's just singing, spinning around on the stage. It's just so funny. And like, obviously you and I are so different in this way. When we've spoken about this on the pod before, like there's no celebrity that I like idolize and it's just so interesting to see you like talk about a celebrity in this such passionate way. And I've got friends that are also like obsessed with celebrities. And I just wish I could be like that or like understand.
Yeah.
Because it's just hilarious.
I'm sure there's lots of scrollers as well who feel the same way, who are like, I don't get it. I don't get the obsession. I think when she commented, I actually had a little moment to myself about like the reason, which I had never really touched on. Obviously, if you came and saw Dancing Queen, you already know about like how much Kylie means to me and how much she shaped my childhood and blah, blah, blah. But one thing that I thought about actually when she commented on my reel and then, you know, Nick had then left, because when he was there, I don't think I had like really processed it, and I was just like laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. I was just like, this is just so funny and random, and like I was freaking out. But then once he left, like then I was like crying about it because I was like, what the hell? And I had a moment to myself where I thought about like, why am I actually reacting this way? Like, why do I love her this much? And I have this vision in my mind of like being in my bedroom as a child, like 5 years old, and like having her CD playing on the CD player and like my bedroom door shut and me just like feeling safe.
Yeah.
Like that's the best way to put it, is like I found a lot of safety in her music as a child who was very confused about who they were, was dealing with the fact they loved Nathan from High Five and didn't know what that meant. You know, I was in a time where I was like trying to figure out, you know, as well, whether I wanted to be a boy or a girl, or whether I was gay, or, but also at 5 years old and not being exposed to any of those conversations, it was more confusing. That's why it's so important, like when we talk about, you know, a lot of people say, oh, keep the children out of it. Like children shouldn't know about these things so young. Like they're only 5 years old. They shouldn't know what transgender and gay and all of that is. Let me tell you, it would have helped me out a lot more if I did know about that. And if I had seen a drag queen and gone to a drag story time and all the rest of that, like it may have helped me a lot more than I needed. And so at that point, we didn't have any of that stuff. Kylie Minogue was my safety net. And when I would listen to her music, I felt very safe and secure. Not that I was in a household where it's very hard to describe, because I wasn't in a household, like I don't come from a household where we had any issues or violence or any, I'm not saying safety as in like that sort of thing, but it's just like you're just so confused and unsure of the world, and you're just not really, there's a lot going on. And so, yeah, for her, she was like a lot of safety for me. So it's like for her to acknowledge me and comment on that reel. And, you know, there's the age-old question, was it her or was it her team? You know, and I fully believe that it was her, especially because since the reaction from a lot of the people around her has kind of solidified that like she genuinely did love the series. And so basically, let's fast forward. We got to the Sydney show and we had people from Frontier Touring come up. I mean, Frontier Touring came up to me another night in Melbourne, took a photo of me, put me on the Instagram. I'm like, her tour company has seen it. Mushroom Group were sharing my posts. Kylie Minogue Wines, her wine brand, was sharing my posts. Love that.
I didn't know that she had a wine brand.
Yeah, and it's delicious. The Savvy Bee is my favourite, but I am not opposed to a rosé. Is it in
collaboration with like a local winery?
Oh, I don't know the details behind it actually, but yeah, it's just her wine brand.
I didn't know that.
Love it. The Savvy Bee is my favourite Savvy Bee ever, but it is really hard to source. Anyway, so then I was getting a lot of attention from all the people around her. And then everyone was like, you know, a lot of people were like, oh my God, surely meet and greet, which I absolutely would have loved my life. But she doesn't owe me anything and I don't expect that at all. But I was also like, okay, if it's going to happen, the people who need to know. If it's going to happen, there's no more that I can do. The right people know, and if that's going to be a possibility, and again, as I said, she's a traditional celeb, I'm like, there's no possibility. But, you know. And then the signs just kept getting more and more like, you know, when we got to the Sydney show, we were like, hi, could you just wait here for one moment? Someone needs to talk to you. And I'm going, oh my God, like, what's going on? Then someone comes over, hi, I'm from Frontier Touring and blah, blah, blah. Someone from Kylie Minogue's team would like to talk to you tonight. And I'm going, oh my God, girls, here we go. What's going on? And then what's your seat number? They've taken a photo of my seat number. They'll come and find you in your seat. So then I'm sitting in my seat, or I got to my seat, and then this lovely girl from Kylie Minogue's team was there and was like, hello, I'm so-and-so from Kylie Minogue's team, and she is loving the content, and she actually has a gift that she'd like us to get to you. So could you tell me where you're sitting tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, sure. She took down my number, all the rest of it. And then we actually sat next to this guy who's a big head honcho at your Frontier Touring or Mushroom Group and works with Kylie a lot. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to touch on, sorry, before we get into that, because now we're about to talk about our experience at Kylie and what happened that night. But that's what I want to say. The other thing as well is, although for a lot of people who aren't in the Kylie Minogue world of it all, you're seeing what I'm doing and you're going, wow, super fan, doing more than anyone else. In the grand scheme of things, I really am at the bottom of the ladder when it comes to...
There's more extreme fans.
There's so many more extreme fans than me. And so what I'm also wanted to talk about online is like the fact that like I don't, in my mind, deserve a meet and greet with her or to like go backstage or get pulled on stage, because one thing that I learned during this tour is there are so many more people. I met this lovely lady who's going to 32 of the shows. I'm going to 10.
Like going overseas?
She's going to 32. She's from Chicago. She came to Australia, did the 10 shows.
What?
She's doing UK, America, and Canada, I think, from memory. We sat next to this man who it was his 68th Kylie Minogue show. There are super fans out there that do what I do and dress up every show and go to multiple shows, more shows than me, and do all of this and spend so much more money and blah, blah, blah. I met so many people who have done what I do, what I've done on this journey tenfold. And they've never met Kylie Minogue. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I think as well, the other thing is you've got to be careful. Like I'm trying to use my PR brain as well, because if Kylie was to meet me, it sets a precedent almost, doesn't it? And it's like, oh, well, if you want to meet and greet, you better just dress up and go to 10 shows. And that's what you get for getting to meet. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's kind of like you have to think about like the whole image of what that would say. Mm-hmm. Because how many people would she piss off if she met me?
Yeah.
When you've got the lady I met, who granted has met Kylie like 5 times, but she's going to 32 shows.
Yeah.
So if she meets me, well then why doesn't that warrant her getting one? Do you know what I mean? And so all of these thoughts have like been going through my brain like the entire tour, and I'm just that's kind of where my brain's been at. But anyway, we had a great night. We were in the front row. We sat next to this guy, big head honcho vibes, 68th Kylie Minogue show, and you hit it off with him because you were actually sitting next to him and his partner.
Yeah, we made friends with the guys next to us, and then he's said that in their office everyone was talking about your videos.
Yes.
And it was the chat of the office.
Yes.
And then he's like, I'll get you to come to something later. And then we're like, okay. So then he gave us like a pink VIP wristband. Then we went to the Kylie wine bar.
Backstage.
After the
Or
show.
like, it was kind of side stage. But yeah. And
I drunkenly said hello to Celeste Barber.
yeah.
I was like, hey, Celeste.
Richard
She's like,
Wilkins was
"Hello."
in there.
Yeah. And that's all the people that I knew in there. And then
Yeah.
it was just like random friend and family thing.
Yeah, it was like a friends and family thing. Anyway, great time.
Then
Went
that guy
home.
messaged me on Instagram the next day saying, I hope you had fun, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to come again tonight? And I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. I felt a bit wrecked after going once. I don't know how you've gone 10 times.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll bring my friend. We'll go again.
Yeah.
And I will say, so I went like this Sunday night and we were sitting, well, I ended up being near you, Matt, like sort of up on the side little grandstand thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool to see the show from a different angle because I feel like when we were down, like you're really like below the stage. Like the stage is like above your head. So you kind of have to look up and you're not like seeing all the way to the back of the stage.
Yes.
So it's cool to see like all the dancers and stuff from a different angle. But I will say, Like when we were in the front row, we had the best time. And it was so different because you're in the front row, then it's just you and then like a meter and then the barricade. So like no one's in front of you, no one's obstructing your view. And we were dancing the whole time and like we had our drinks in our hand, dancing and singing, holding on to the barricade kind of thing. And then it made me realize how different of an experience it is if you're in another section.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got me thinking, and I said to you after the concert, because we just had so much fun, we were dancing and singing the whole time, I was like, that was more fun than the Eras tour.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's because we had a way better spot.
Yeah.
When we were at the Eras tour, we were so far up the grandstand, like I couldn't see Taylor. Like she was like a little speck and like fuzzy. So you watch like the TV screen the whole concert, but it's just... So I can imagine like the people on the ground and in the front row at the Eras tour would have had that like amazing experience. So it was really cool to be able to experience front row at a show and then experience like sitting on the side, which was still great, but it's a different experience.
Yeah, definitely. When I sat like up in Brisbane, when I sat up the back, I noticed I'd been to the show 6 times already or something. And I was like, oh my God, I'm actually noticing all these things that I haven't noticed yet because I was kind of on the floor the whole time. I will say, let's actually talk about sitting front row.
Okay.
Because although best experience ever, you really do forget there's 15,000 other people in the room. It
yeah,
really
you just
does.
feel like you're there and like you're so close to the stage. And I love that no one's in front of you. It makes you realise, like last night when we went to the second show, my second show, like when the people stand up in front of you, then you stand up so that you can see. Like it's just a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Whereas when you are front row, you don't have to worry about anything obstructing your view. And I would say, like as you all know, like this is basically the second concert I've ever been to besides Evanescence. Going front row, like I can see the hype and why people try so badly to get them. Because you're way closer, but it's just like a way better experience in terms of like your surroundings.
Yeah, it's a very personal experience. And this is something that's going to shock you all. I'm not sure I enjoyed front row as much as I thought I would because it's low-key fucking awkward. Locking eyes with Kylie Minogue is actually kind of a little too... I feel like I flew a little too close to the sun. And I was like, shit... She's looking at me. And then I freaked out and I got awkward and I was like, living my life. And then she'd look at me and my body would shut down and I'd go, oh my God. And it's so awkward as well because, I know every word to every song. But sometimes in the moment you might slip up and sing the wrong fucking one. Well, there's no getting away with it like you are up in the stands and no one's paying attention. I'm front row. If I sing the wrong lyric... Kylie knows because she's looking me dead in the fucking eyes. And the other thing is everyone filming the whole time.
Yeah, I would say the only awkward thing about being front row, and I guess at that show, because the stadium was much smaller than like Taylor Swift stadium. So it felt more intimate when you are in the front row. But like all the lights that are like right there on the stage in front of you that are constantly flashing, like you're constantly getting whacked in the face with like, you feel like you're exposed to everyone as well. It's like the bright lights right on your face.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's where I wouldn't like front row just because of how bright it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously loved it. And every time she does a tour, I'll be getting front row.
Do you reckon she's going to tour ever again?
Oh, absolutely.
You reckon?
She's not done. Yeah.
I always wondered
because she'd also do like greatest hits tour and stuff. Like she'd do a farewell. Kylie would for sure do a farewell
like
tour
all
if
the
she
way
was
to
going to be
the
done.
end.
Yeah, this wouldn't be her last one.
I always say, I feel like we've said this before as well, like, and we've talked about Justin Bieber and shit, but like, why do they keep touring? Like if they've got enough money.
Yeah, I do.
Like if she's been doing this for 40 years or however long she's been like famous and singing, like doesn't she have enough money that she could just go, fuck it?
Yeah, well, I think it might be a bit of a passion project, to be honest. I mean, for people like her, obviously makes a lot of money. But look at me. I've spoken before. The shows that I do,
it's passion.
It's a passion project. I love being on stage.
So good, I will say. Like she fucking gets into it.
Everyone who's going to the shows.
She looks amazing, I have to say as well. Like we all know she looks amazing, but she looks fucking good. And she's like like got a curvy bum. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I was just like, you
She's
look amazing,
gorgeous.
Kylie.
Yeah.
Like, she looks great. Hair looked
And she-
amazing. Body looked
She
amazing.
dances.
She's
and
so
she gets
short.
into it. It's
Or maybe the
amazing.
dancers are really tall. Or is Kylie Minogue short?
She's really tiny, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna Google how tall she is.
I'll definitely get front row again, but just, if you've never sat front row and you've seen my journey and you're like, oh, it's amazing. It is amazing. It's life-changing and I so recommend it. But those moments, I don't know how to describe it, but I went awkward. I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. She's looking right at me. I don't know what to do. And then even
152 centimetres, if anyone was wondering.
how high?
152 centimetres.
Yeah.
See, I'm 166 centimetres.
Yeah.
So I'm over 10 centimetres taller than her. I'm short.
Yeah. Yep.
She's short as.
Yeah. So front row was great. Anyway, then he gave you VIP tickets to come back the next night. Then
Yep.
where else are we at? Oh, so yes, last night. Okay, here we go. So then this is the Monday. So I was in the spinning around gold dress, everyone, for reference. And the person from Kylie's team who took my number down the night before, she messaged me and said, hi, where are you sitting? And she came up to me and had a bag. And she handed me the bag and said, here, Kylie just wanted to make sure that you got this. There's a couple goodies in there. There was some merch in there, including a jumper that I was going to buy and a bucket hat that I was going to buy. And there was a key ring I didn't even know existed. And there was a tote bag. And there was also a note in there she had written on like attention to a card. Hi, Matt. Loved all the looks, and then signed it, love Kylie. Oh my God. I'll be framing that and putting that in the entryway of my house, and that will be like a focal point, and everyone who comes over, I'll go, and yes, and this is my signed. And you know what, Brittney? Remember I've said before, I've never ever, you're going to hate this. You're going to hate this, and you're going to think I'm crazy.
I already think you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you can say anything at
But
this point.
I've always said, oh, I've never loved anything enough to get a tattoo.
Are you getting a tattoo?
I want to get that signature and love heart that Kylie wrote for me as a tattoo.
Where?
On
your
my
body?
wrist, just here.
Yeah, that's all right.
Just small.
Yeah.
Small version. It's quite big. It's quite a big card.
Yeah, but
quite a
didn't
big
she
signature.
do it in like a thick permanent marker?
Yeah, but
Don't
you
get
know,
the tattoo
I'll
thick.
I'll get a little thin, we'll do a little thin one. Anyway, I'll sort it out. But I think that would be a nice little ending to this adventure that I've been on and something that I'll never forget. And that was just amazing. And I told her to pass on my thanks to Kylie. And
Look at
was
her
like,
there.
I know, gorgeous. I'm
looking at photos of Kylie Minogue on Google.
I said to her, like, I never expected anything. I did this for me. Like, and I said, pass all this on to Kylie. Like, I want her to know, like, she's made my life. I'm never going to forget this. And she didn't owe me anything. I didn't expect anything out of it, but she's gone above and beyond. And I am obsessed. So thank you for that. And she said, oh, you don't understand. Like, she's truly obsessed with the whole thing. Like, every time there's a post, she has to stop everything and look at the post and what you've done and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that makes my head spin. And I'm one of those people who, like, in the moment, I'm cool, calm, collected, and then I have a fucking mental breakdown about it later. And you can just imagine. So then she's given me that, and then the concert was starting like 5 minutes later. So I've had that. I've gotten that, said goodbye to the girl from Kylie's team, and sat down in my seat and took a breather, enjoyed the concert, and then got home. And then, yeah, it all hit me. And then anyway, then I went out to the club and celebrated, and it was lovely. So I think success. I would love to meet her one day. I know everyone was like begging for that. I know everyone was like, surely this ends in a meet and greet. And I mean, I have one concert tonight and I don't know, who knows what could happen, but I doubt it. I feel like the present, which I'm very grateful for, and that's more than enough for me. And literally that's getting hung up in my house. And I just like can't wait for that to be literally a focal point in my entryway so that anyone who comes to my house has to see my signed letter and card from Kylie Minogue. But I know a lot of people were like hoping that it would end in that. And of course I was as well. But I hope that today I've like explained a little more behind the reason why I think it's very justified that wouldn't happen. Do you know what I mean? Her being a traditional celeb, me really at the end of the day, what I did, I know I did a lot, but there's a lot of people doing a lot more than me out there in the grand scheme of things, right?
Which is wild.
Which is wild, but so fabulous. And that's the impact this person has had on their life. Because, sorry, last point, I know this is a Close Friends episode. It has been a long one and we're going to wrap up in a second. But the thing is, like, let's take someone. Billie Eilish is the first person that kind of comes to mind because maybe Billie Eilish maybe not a good example. Let's take Chapel Roan. Actually, she's probably a better example, right? If Chapel Roan comes to Australia and tours Australia, obviously the tickets are going to go off, but no one in that room can say that Chapel Roan has had an impact on their entire life. That's the difference with Kylie Minogue, is for so many of the people in that room, she's been there their entire life.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's been my entire life, my earliest memories of my life. I can remember loving and listening to Kylie Minogue. So like, you know, I feel like the kids these days, they don't get it. Because like, yes, they love Chapel Roan, but they found Chapel Roan where they were 12 or 13 or 15 or 17 or 19 or 21, so on. Whereas for so many people, Kylie Minogue has been ingrained in their life from the get-go. Especially for me, because my parents loved Kylie Minogue. So then they've brought me up on Kylie Minogue sort of thing. And now here we are today. So it's like just different. Because even Lady Gaga, I wouldn't act this way or Lady Gaga, I love. She had a huge impact on my life. But it was in my teen years. Similar to Kylie, I'm figuring myself out when I'm 5. Lady Gaga, that's when I'm coming out. And I know who I am now, or I'm still in the final stages of figuring out who I am. But Lady Gaga will never have the impact on my life that Kylie has. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of the difference. That's why she's got so many super fans.
Because she's
been
been
around.
And she's been spinning around.
She's been spinning around. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing a little bit more of my journey, my thoughts on the whole thing. Had the best time. We'll never do anything like this ever again.
I've finished
I feel
all my
broken.
grain waves.
Oh, good on you.
I'm putting
Is
them
there
in.
anything else you want to say? Because you didn't say much in this episode. I know you had a lot of thoughts and feelings about...
I feel like you've said everything that I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think celebrities owe us anything. And I think if a celebrity's like not doing meet and greet tickets, then they're not going to do it. I reckon they finish that show and fucking get straight in the car and fuck right off. Like, I genuinely think that's what they do.
Yeah, probably. You imagine doing that show. You couldn't wait to get into bed.
Yeah.
You'd be like, everyone shut up, turn the lights off and fuck off.
100%. And I was saying to you, I think we shouldn't meet our idols. You know how they say don't meet your idols? Like it's a saying.
Yeah.
So I reckon she should just stay your idol.
But I wonder why.
I don't know. It's just like a saying, don't meet your idols. Keep your idols as idols.
I'd love to, though.
Maybe you will one day, Matt. I'll
Even
manifest.
if I met her, she's still going to be my idol forever, though. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Anyway, I could talk about Kylie Minogue till the cows come home, but it is Friday. You all need to go. Have a fabulous weekend, and we'll see you next Tuesday.